Max Verstappen's outstanding weekend in Baku brought some really provocative discussions back into play, such as the championship fight still being a realistic goal for him. After 2 consecutive wins and a DNF for Piastri in Baku, he managed to cut 40 points off the Aussie's lead. But can he continue in this manner for the remainder of the season? And more importantly, what needs to happen for us to see Max emerge victorious in Abu Dhabi with 7 races and 3 sprint events remaining? Max Verstappen has proven everyone wrong in Baku. This is a circuit he enjoys, and when he's given the chance, he'll get the most out of it. With Piastri out of the race on lap 1 and Norris struggling, stuck between cars and Tsunoda, the Dutchman had a clear path to scoring his 6th Grand Slam of his career. He's now tied with Hamilton and has just 2 fewer than Jim Clark. But there is one fact that he might be a lot happier about. He could be back in the fight for the Drivers' Championship. While it does seem a bit unrealistic because a Piastri DNF is quite an uncommon outcome, we still have a right to dream a little bit. Yes, there are tracks that won't suit the RB21 as much as Red Bull would like, with Singapore being the first such challenge on the calendar, but at the end of the day, the upgrades seem to work. The engineers are approaching everything from a technical point of view, and they've allowed Verstappen to have a much bigger say in how the car should perform. The result is a much happier 4-time world champion, even seen tapping the car after qualifying sessions. He now understands that the car does exactly what it needs to do. And when you have Tsunoda finishing P6 in Baku, you know the results are not based on luck. But Verstappen himself chooses to be more realistic and reserved regarding the question of whether he can really attack Piastri at the front. The gap is still 69 points, difficult but not impossible. Mathematically, he doesn't need a McLaren DNF to win the championship. All he has to do is outscore Norris by 6 points and Piastri by 10 points at every weekend, which, given the fact that we still have 3 sprint events, could be more achievable if everything goes right for the 4-time world champion. Elaborating further on this, he said, "It's 7 races to go, and it's still 69 points. It's a lot. Basically, everything needs to go perfectly from my side, and then I need a bit of bad luck from McLaren's side as well. So, it's still very tough." For the first time in months, Max is hopeful about the car's performance because of the upgrades that were introduced in Monza. A new floor meant that Red Bull will always be competitive on low downforce tracks. However, that doesn't guarantee the same performance on high downforce ones like Singapore. Even though Andrea Stella confirmed loud and clear that Red Bull should not be written off, Verstappen and Helmut Marko remain cautious. Speaking about Red Bull's chances in Singapore, Marko said, "I think that's the optimism of Andrea. I hope it will be like that, but I'll think about it after Singapore. If we are competitive there, then maybe we can start dreaming." It's not only the high downforce that's challenging, it's always bloody hot there, which our car doesn't seem to like very much. So it will be the real benchmark as to where we are with the new upgrades. There is still more than 200 points available in Formula 1, and everything can change in the blink of an eye. However, to hope that Piastri will have yet another disastrous weekend like in Baku is far-fetched. This is the perfect time for him to allow himself one reckless weekend, which every driver can have. Meanwhile, his teammate Lando only managed to close the gap by 6 points. Still, this gives Red Bull a lot to think about. The McLaren drivers are now entering an even fiercer battle with each other, and if it's not a DNF, we could always witness a crash between the two. Both have a lot to prove to their team, and failing to do so, especially with a crash, would open the door for Verstappen even wider. Now, I know many of you may think this is daydreaming, and I haven't said that Max is back in the championship picture. I'm simply stating that certain circumstances, similar to what happened in Baku, combined with the increased performance of Red Bull after the Monza upgrades, could give us a different picture of the championship. Max understands that very well. He's also aware that the races he's won so far were low downforce tracks. He and the team are yet to see whether these upgrades will work on high downforce circuits. Speaking further on this, the 4-time world champion said, "It's just a combination of a lot of things that have gone better in the last few weeks. We've understood a bit more about the car. Of course, they were 2 low downforce tracks, so we have to wait and see how we're going to perform again on a high downforce track." Verstappen and Helmut Marko remain cautious. Speaking about Red Bull's chances in Singapore, Marko said, "I think that's the optimism of Andrea. I hope it will be like that, but I'll think about it after Singapore. If we are competitive there, then maybe we can start dreaming." It's not only the high downforce that's challenging, it's always bloody hot there, which our car doesn't seem to like very much.